Hi, welcome to the channel, Budget Audio Review and Upgrades. Today I'm reviewing a CD player. This is the Panasonic PJ324A CD player. Now, before I carry on, I just want to say this isn't the only jumper I've got. I've got other jumpers. I just wear this around the house when I muck about with my HiFi and they're taking it apart, gets dirty, all that kind of stuff. I catch it, it's got all bubbles over it and all that. So that's why you're seeing this jumper a lot in the videos. I've got many others to choose from, but when I'm mucking about and taking things apart, as I did in this video, I usually stick this on. It's quite comfortable and warm because it's getting pretty nippy out there at the moment. Okay, another little quick thing. I will come back with some other CD stroke DVD players. I've only got one more after this, thank God. I'm not getting bored of it, but I've got so much other stuff I want to try and get on the channel. But I will bring some more out when I get them. I mean, I went to the charity shop recently and they've got them in there again. There's still DVD stroke CD players in there, and they're not expensive, and then they're not going to get much more for them unless they've got, like I say, one of these sought after machines, maybe a Marantz or something like that, one of their special editions or something like that. And obviously they get a premium kind of money on eBay, etc. But then again, one slips through in the charity shop and that. But don't forget, these are not going to match the sound of them machines, but they're still going to give a decent sound. Don't forget, this is a budget channel. I don't stick no digital analog converters on the back of these, anything like that. I haven't got one to start off with, and it's a budget channel and we're going to get something as cheap as possible. Someone's asked me to put a video up, which I'll try and do in the future. It won't be too long away, I don't think, where I can put a few components together for a basic setup for as little as possible. Techmoan did one about 2.5 years ago, something like that. And that was an interesting one. Started off with Cassiva. And it's a bit of a mix match system, and mine's probably going to be a little bit of a mix match, but I'm definitely going to try and undercut him. And don't forget, the best places to go and get this stuff is from a shop, maybe a charity shop or something, anything, or go and pick up locally. Anything that cuts out that postage, because some of these can be expensive postage. You can pay £10 postage, and if you're buying 3 or 4 items, that's £30 or £40 that you haven't really got anything for, that you spent on postage, when if you went to a shop or charity shop or something like that, you could actually physically get something for that £30 or £40. Right, we're going to have a little look at this Panasonic. First of all, let's have a look at the front so you can see it nice and clearly, hopefully there. And there's the rear, not a lot happening around the rear, just a little remote socket there for maybe linking it up to another system, something like that, and just the RCA phono left and right out. Now if we take the lid off and have a little look inside, first glances you're going to think, well, I ain't getting much of my money here, Mick. There's not much happening inside. I think all the ICs are actually underneath the circuit board here. Obviously I'm not going to take the old circuit board out and everything else just to show you them, but I'm led to believe, and I'm almost 100% certain, that the ICs doing all the donkey work here is underneath that board. Now if we look at the actual drive itself, apparently this is a swing arm drive. But operates, I suppose, similarly, you'd probably say like a record player, maybe, a way it swings across the CD, a bit kind of action that a record player, turntable would do. So there it is, there's the swing arm, and as you can see, the laser moves across in that kind of direction. Hopefully you get an idea of exactly what's happening there. Okay, I'm going to do my normal test now before we go on to the sound, etc. It's turned on. I'm just going to put my normal 2 CDs that I do. People say, why am I doing this? But some people like to see exactly how fast and quick these items are. Some of them are a bit laborious and slow. And when you read on the internet, someone says this is a fast, axis is the track's fast or slow. It's always hard to, what is fast and which is slow. So here we go. Let's have a little look. So we're going to open it up. I'm going to put my normal CD that you go and buy in the shop. Now with this here, this tray here is quite nice as well. It's got a cutout. I didn't really, should have went in a bit more of the trays than the others. I do apologise. It's got a little cutout here for your little mini CDs, your little 3-inch CDs, 8cm CDs. And it's a little bit on the springy side, this. Hopefully you're picking this up. I'll put the CD in there and it may just show it. So it's quite nicely done. It's got a little bit of a spring to it. Hopefully you can see that movement. It's a little bit springy. So it's just a little touch there. Just a little bit nice. So we'll stick it in. And it's quite fast reading that disc. It's done that really quick, isn't it? So let's start playing it. And we're off and running in the play department. So I'm going to skip the tracks like I normally do. I'm going to shout out next, next, and next. So that gives you an idea, hopefully, of it moving along the tracks. What I'll do is I'll skip a few tracks here as it happens. There you go, it's pretty fast, pretty good. So there you go, that's that one. We're going to open that up. Quite a nice solid door on here, or drawer should I say, quite nicely solid. I'm going to put my CDR in there, and pretty much the same, just see how quick it is, CDRs. There you go, and we're just going to play this. It's struggling to play this disc. I did have this problem earlier. There you go. Now this was burnt at 16 speed, so maybe I should bring the burning speed down a little bit. It did struggle a little bit to play that CDR, but obviously still play CDRs. You may want to bring your speed down as low as possible. Gives a deeper burn. So we'll just skip another track. Sorry, I meant to say next. Let's go next and next. Okay, all the functions are here at the front, so if you didn't have the remote control, you'd be able to do it with all these, buttons at the front here. But like I say, that CD is just a little bit reading it. So we'll just give it one more go, shall we? It isn't going to hurt, is it? Just in case people are thinking about maybe using CDR. Oh, quite. Yeah, but did struggle early on. Okay, so yeah, when burning CDRs, if you go down maybe as 8 speed, something like that, it'll help the player out. The bigger pits, the faster you burn it, the smaller the pits. The slower you burn it, the bigger the pits. That gives the CD player a better chance of actually reading the disc. And plus, it's not going to wear your laser out, because like I said on a previous video, PlayStation 1 games years ago used to be tons and tons of copies about, and it used to wear that laser out where it's going backwards and forwards, up and down, more times than it has to read the disc, focusing in and all that kind of stuff. The less it has to do that, the more longevity of the actual player. And it's not, it doesn't just do that when it's reading the tracks, the actual table of contents, and reading like how many tracks you've got on the disc, say 12 tracks, 12 audio tracks, and you think, well, that's it, it's done now, it knows where it is. It also does that as it's reading each individual part of that music for how long it is, an hour. It could be struggling for an hour trying to read the disc. So if it can read it nice and clear at one attempt, rather than bobbing up and down, left and right, all that kind of stuff, focusing and all that, it's going to get more longevity of the actual laser and the mechanism itself. Okay, let's get on to the sound. Right, so how did it actually sound? Now before I do the sound thing, I just want to maybe give another tip out here or something. I don't know if it's a tip, just my observation maybe. That is, when you're buying anything like this, make sure you give yourself a budget. Don't overpay for it, not unless you really, really, really want it. And you know it's going to be in high demand and you think, well, another one ain't going to come up for ages. Let's go and get it, I need it now, kind of thing. Look at as many reviews as you can. Don't just take my opinion for what it is. Look at everyone's opinion, forums, all that, get a kind of idea. Now I've had a couple of questions where people have asked me, what's this speaker sound, which one would you buy out of these two different speakers or amplifiers, etc. Now I've had one speaker but not the other, I've had one amplifier and not the other. Now I can't guess, I can't tell when I say, well, this one sounds really good, I doubt if that's going to beat it, until I actually hear the other one. It's only my opinion as well, don't forget. I don't know which one out of the two, so that's really, really hard for me to say. And I'll come back and say, well, I've heard one, it's pretty good or whatever. I honestly don't know, you know what I mean? So my tip would be, obviously this is a budget channel, hopefully you're still looking for budget items, is to pay as little as possible, obviously, and try and get the pair, get both amplifiers, get both sets of speakers, listen to the ones you like, give yourself a month or so to get get accustomed to them, the sound, etc. And then sell the other one. So, pay as little as possible, give yourself a little bit of headroom so you could buy both of them and maybe only cost you £10, maybe £20 to get the one you really, really want. And I think that's £10 or £20 well spent. You've had a choice of two and you've picked the one. And, to lose £10 or £20, not a lot of money these days. So, that'd be my advice maybe, is to try and, if you can't make your mind up, rather than just plumping for one and paying a bit too much for that one because you desperately want to get it, get both. So you can maybe find one that's really cheap at the moment to get that one. You've got it, you can listen to a few records, etc. Maybe a month or two time. The other one comes along and that's nice and cheap now. You've seen all the high prices go past. One's coming nice. Get to now you've got both. Listen to them for both for a month or so. Then sell the one you don't want, and hopefully not too much out of pocket. And you've made got a choice kind of thing, rather than being stuck with maybe one you're not too sure about. You're still guessing, was it really better than the other one? I don't know. But that way you do know. Okay, I've waffled off enough. Back to this. Okay, so what did I think of this actual CD player? This is it's got a little bit of a sweet kind of sound to it, this player, I think. Yeah, quite a nice sounding player. Now, if I was to match this up with the Sony, it's a little bit unfair really, because the price difference between this new and the Sony new would have been quite a big gap in the price gaps, I would have thought, in the price range. So obviously the Sony, to me, is the best player out of the 6 that I'm going to do here over these 6 videos. It was the better player. It just sonically better. It had more definition, more instrument placing, more refined kind of thing. Mid-range was a little bit edgy, like I say, the vocals a little bit edgy, kind of just about kept it in control without going over that line. But other than that, it was a really nice player and I really enjoyed it. It was a live player and I really got my feet tapping and the old drumsticks going kind of thing. But this didn't do a bad job. Out of the CD players, just normal CD players, and this was on top without a doubt. This was the better player. Well, where shall I start? The top end's nice. It's nicely detailed, the top end. When it got busy, it got a little bit mushy. When it was a busy top end, it just got a little bit mushy. A lot going on at the top end. It got a little bit mushy, just a little bit. But other than that, it's quite nice. It's quite detailed. I found, just the overall clarity of this player is pretty good. Just wasn't quite as good as that Sony one. The Sony one just kind of focused it more and done more placement. You could imagine the actual orchestra and different instruments being in them places, just had a bit more focus on it than this did. But this is still, quite a nice player. If you're paying £10 to £30, something like that for it, you still got yourself a nice, decent player here, I think. Mid-range was nice and smooth, controlled. Wasn't quite as edgy as that Sony player. So, this is quite a smooth, round-off kind of mid-range. It sounded nice. That was for male and female. And the bass was nice. It wasn't muddy or anything like that. It's quite nicely detailed. The drum kit and all that going around the drum kit sounded nice. The toms, etc. All well defined and nice. You could separate one from the other, etc. And same with the bass guitar and that cellos, all that kind of thing. Trumpet, sax and the piano, which I listen to a bit of jazz at the moment. They all sounded nice on this machine. Yeah, nicely kind of like a little bit smoothed off a little bit, but nice. You know what I mean? Kept it nice. Like I say, this is a little bit on the, I think maybe on the little bit on the, people would say on the sweet kind of sound, just a tad towards a sweet kind of sounding unit. So all in all, nice display, etc. on here. The draw mechanism, that looks quite nice, quite nicely put together. Yeah, all in all, quite a nice little player. I'll definitely recommend this. Like I say, if you're willing to pay up to about £30, something like that, I have to pay a bit of postage. Obviously, these are always best to go in a charity shop or local, and they're giving these players away at the moment. Every time I go in my charity shop locally, there's one there. I'm not going to keep buying at the moment because they're stacking up, and they're at the other end. If I want another one, it's going to be there waiting for me. I'll give it a little while before I come back to maybe CD, DVD players, because I've got other things in the pipeline I want to get out as soon as possible and then mounting up. And these videos do take a bit of time to do, plus I'm still working at the moment. But this is a nice little player. So, if you're looking for this is like a MIDI size, I would say, not a mini, but a MIDI size player. And this is quite a nice unit, and apparently it's got quite a nice mechanism inside. Not that I'm going into all the digital converters, all the mechanisms, all that kind of stuff. I don't do that. All I know is how it sounds. Not adding the digital analog converters in the back, because obviously that's going to bump the price up. This is about what can you get for very, very, very little money, really, here. CD stroke DVD player wise. This is why I did it, is that this isn't going to live up to the Marantz special editions and all that you're probably going to pay £100, £150, maybe £200 for on eBay and places like that. What can you get for 8 to 10 to 15 to 20, £30, something like that? It's quite a cut. It's quite a fraction of the price that you would pay for £150. Say you get something for 30, that's a fifth of the price. Can you still get something that sounds, going to give you some enjoyment? Maybe I'm being overcritical with these players. If you're just going to stick it on and listen to some music and not sit there trying to pick things out, you're going to like these players. There's nothing wrong with these players. I'm being overcritical for what I'm paying. It's silly, really. It's like buying a brand new car and giving the geezer 30 quid and going, well, this is wrong. I'm being overcritical maybe, but I'm just saying as I think they sound. Okay, to the next video, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.